I would say this though. To some degree, I do agree with you, Jay Speed. I think what has happened is that we have this chicken or the egg argument, right? And it's, well, you did this to me. Well, you did that to me. Well, you did this to me. And I often tell people like, man, and I didn't get to have this conversation with somebody else, but I wanted to tell this woman like, you do realize for everything that you say that that person did to you, they can probably make the same argument that they may have responded to you for something that you did. So there's always a which came first, rather than the acknowledgement that you did something wrong.
Yes, sir.
And I think I think it's really hard to have this conversation because we're not actually talking to people in relationships. We're trying to get people to create, we're trying to create relationships, but it's hard to talk to somebody who's not actively in a relationship because I can't tell you what you did wrong because you don't care, because you already let the person that you may have done wrong go because of something they may have done to you. So we're talking to a bunch of single people trying to figure out why the hell they're not coupling up with each other. And both groups are saying, well, it's that person. Well, it's that person.
Yes, sir.
And it makes it extremely difficult. That's why when we talk about this, it's really hard to say what a solution is because you can't reason with people who don't want to be reasoned with.
And you don't know what you don't know.
I don't know, Sweeney. I think the solution is that men vocally express what they want in a woman. And
bro,
then,
men have been vocally expressing what they wanted for decades, bro. It's been decades.
And not settle for anything else, and don't impregnate nobody who don't fit that criteria.
And I get what you're saying, right? The thing is that the people who are getting women pregnant don't give a flying. They're not the ones complaining. The ones that can get any woman pregnant whenever they want at any given time don't give a flying hell they're not the ones complaining. And that's the problem, is that we keep meshing these two groups of people together and saying that, man, all of y'all need to be responsible for this group, but they don't care. So I get when men say, hey, ladies, y'all have to give a shit, because if y'all don't give a shit, then how do y'all, like when Trev said, y'all don't see most of us? That's true, because if your only focus is on a group that don't give a damn about you. Aisha was just up here and she said this man told her straight up, I can have another you tomorrow. What can you tell that man? What can we say to him? Hey, bro, you need to have some dick discipline. Hey, Aisha wanted me. No, I'm speaking hyperbolic, but I think I might have used that word wrong. But,
don't worry about it. I mess up words all the time.
But like when I'm sitting up, hell no, this nigga went and got it for real. Bruiser went and bought that motherfucker for real. But
yeah, but he's not that good at it either, man.
It's hard.
Trapping that shit.
It's really hard to have this conversation because it's like I'm probably about as regular as they come, bro.
Well, sweet.
There ain't nothing too spectacular about me. I'm about as regular as a dude may come.
Well, sweetie, let's put some think tanks together to make it more easy. There's some experts out there. Could show up on the panel every once in a while. And I'm not talking about these internet psychologists that never went to school to know all the answers. I'm talking about some real experts who can show up on these panels every once in a while and give us some knowledge and intake as far as how we move forward. And somebody asked the question in the chat, do the community exist? The only person don't want you to believe the community don't do exist is the person who's trying to destroy it. You best believe that.
Yeah. Hey, Di, I got a question for you real quick, though.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
All right. Out of all the men you know, us included, how many of us would tell you that Future is a good man that you should marry?
I would say probably like 40%. Out of all the men I know, right? You said out of mine, but I
you
right?
Okay. That's too many. shit.
Okay,
But this is what I want to say. I feel like the reason why I haven't succumbed, and this is what I feel about a lot of people. If you endure what most of the community have, and you have not succumbed to it like the community have, that's because you're a leader. You're one of the people that's meant to get us up out this situation. And I feel like the only reason why you endure what most of the community has, because now you can relate to them. But when people has not fully healed, I feel like they hate they instead of embracing it in order to help the next person.
I'm with you on that, dog. That's the reason why I do what I
question.
do, because hold on real quick, because I feel activated in this to where I gotta try to pull together a group of men to get us out of this situation. But here's the bad part about it: a lot of these women, a lot of these heathens ain't gonna be able to come along. They gonna have to die
Darren,
alone.
I'm gonna try to get them together. Darren. I'm gonna try.
I got to follow
try,
up.
but I know that one. I want to try to remember, and especially for you, Darwin, because you're a man of God. We have to remember we're just the messengers, but you really got to have faith that God is going to be that change. And faith is the substance of things hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen. So although you might not see any evidence that change is coming, you got to have that faith that God is going to move and work. And especially
that's
if
why I'm
they're
doing what you're doing. I believe it.
I got a follow up question for you.
Certain individuals are just not gonna have faith in, man. Like if you realize you had a dude, right, that was let's just say he was a violator, right? He violates people, right, including young people. Would you have him around your children, or would you have faith that he's gonna do better?
I would set my boundaries, but I'm still gonna have faith in everyone, because what did God say? He said, "Well,
you said you would have him around your children."
No, I said I wouldn't. I would set my
Oh,
boundaries
okay.
to make sure I'm safe. So this is what I say to a lot of people.
And our
Having faith in
boundaries.
somebody takes $0. It takes zero amount of time that you have to invest in them personally. Having faith is I'm putting it in God's hands, and I'm not going to do the devil's work. I'm not going to let the devil use me to believe that there's no hope for you. And I'm not talking about those specific people, but majority of the issues that we're experiencing in our community. You got to have faith. That don't mean, oh, entertain them, be their friend, hang out with them. No, I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to put it in God's hands.
That's our boundaries right there. Just how you said you wouldn't have them around your children. Boom. We wouldn't either. And we're not going to raise children with them. And
no,
that's
I'm
the
talking about the
boundaries
people
that
that
we
Darwin
have.
said that he was going to help.
No. What you're saying is that we can't. We, from what I got, what you just said was like, we probably should have faith in people that, we're pretty. He said some of the hoes can't come. That's what he said, and you were.
I said I'm gonna try to work on them.
And we said we don't want them. So that's what we're saying. Leave them right. Leave them right where they at. Just like I said. Just like you said, you wouldn't bring them cats around your kids who violate people. It's the same way that men feel about 304s.
You just took it to a complete extremity.
No, I did. I took it to a level that you get it, and you don't like it. You don't like the sound of it. But that's all it is.
Like I said, I'm gonna still pray for the world, because God said, "Don't give up."
We'll pray for them 304s. We just
and
not,
I'm gonna have
people
faith
just ain't
in
involved
change.
with them.
In order for our community to change, we have to have faith. That's it. In order for us to come out of slavery, we had to have faith. You have to have faith regardless of whatever the situation is. You got to believe that these problems can be fixed. And once y'all say they can't, well, then at that point, shit, fuck it.
Do you understand what he said? Do you understand what he said? What he meant by what he said, right? Do you understand what he meant? Are you sure? Because what he basically said was the same thing that you would say about that person, is that
he said, don't pray for him, don't have faith in him.
That ain't what he said. That's not what he said. That's not what he said.
Because I didn't say I would kick it with him. I didn't say I would have them around my kids. I said I would continue to pray for them and have faith that somebody, even if it's not me, somebody's going to come to their life to get through to them.
So
the hoes and everything, the way y'all were taught to see hoes and judge hoes, that's, to me, that's conditioned.
Die. See, this is where you got wrong, because you just assumed that he didn't say any of that. He asked you that question for a reason, and he even told you that your answer is actually the answer to your question. He said, that's exactly how we feel. We will pray for them. We can love them from a distance, but I cannot be with you.
And Miss Sweeney, and this is the issue, and this is why I don't like when y'all come on here and try to tell men what men can deal with. Some men are equipped and capable and spiritually and mentally capable of dealing with that. Choose
But
the
they're
woman that you
not.
could deal with. Lead the woman that's for you. Lead the woman that's
Ah,
for you. Superhead is happily married. Yes, she has a past,
What?
but she is now a different woman who's now living by God, not doing
You
the
talking
things
about
she
Corinne
did in the
Stephens?
past because she found a man who was equipped to deal with her. Y'all keep telling men what they should and should not deal with. Same thing
Superhead,
with women.
what?
Hold on.
Oh,
Same thing with women. Some women are sitting here telling other women,
wait.
don't date a
Hold on,
man
son.
who has less money than you. But some women are equipped to deal with those type of
Talking
men.
about guac
Some women are not
6,000.
materialistic. So I'm not going to
Double
sit
hand
here and
twist.
tell a woman, court a man based on how I court a man. Get to
die.
know God, get to know your
Did
experiences.
you really have to use Superhead out of all the wives that's married?
I don't have
I don't
First
think
of
she's
all,
currently
no, hold
married.
on,
I know
wait.
she was married to Darius McCrae, Eddie Winslow, by the way, who's now dating Sydney Starr, the trans man. So, like, what
Oh
are we
my
doing?
God,
That
that's
was
why
like a
you
really
cannot
terrible
But
date her.
example.
still, they
Hold on,
can't.
wait. Y'all getting off. First and foremost, she's not married. And actually, she even came out and spoke about how.
Well,
Hold
I'm
on,
thinking
wait.
of a time
Hold
when
on.
she was married. Go ahead.
She was married, but you got to understand that it was her behavior and her ways that caused the end of her marriage to begin with. No, most men cannot deal with that type of problematic woman. And I would behoove you to understand, why would we even expect a man to do that? Like, we wouldn't expect I wouldn't expect a woman to try to understand and deal with an abuser. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't expect her to endure that. I wouldn't expect any good woman to endure or try to figure out or try to understand. I understand that she could, from a distance, try to get them some help, some professional help, but I would never expect a woman to endure and to understand where an abuser is coming from. So it baffles my mind that you would say that, hey, look, there's a man out there that we can partner with her that would make that work. Because typically, if you ask women who participate in that lifestyle, the vast majority of them would tell you that they have a hard time dating, and it's for a reason. Because most men, because
I
most
also want to
men,
advise her real quick short. I also want to advise her to scratch that point out of her booklet of ideology or whatever. Please don't ever use Superhead to champion for a point that you want to make. That's bad. That's bad.
All right, y'all brothers and sisters, peace, love.
He better go. He gonna pour her. Look, he done filed Superhead. He got to get off now. Ain't it?
No.